SER cable stands for Service Entrance Riser Cable. It's a type of electrical cable commonly used in residential and light commercial applications. Its primary function is to bring power from the utility company's service drop to the building's main disconnect. While often used for service entrances, there are specific rules governing its application. The NEC, or National Electrical Code, dictates the permitted and prohibited uses of SER cable to ensure electrical safety and prevent hazards. It is important to consult your local authority having jurisdiction, as requirements vary. Generally speaking, SER cable can be used for the following applications. Firstly, as service entrance cable above ground from the service drop to the meter and then to the main disconnect. Secondly, as a feeder cable running from the main disconnect to a subpanel in the same building. Thirdly, for supplying power to appliances such as electric ranges, dryers, and air conditioners, provided that it meets the ampacity requirements and is properly protected. Fourthly, as interior wiring in some jurisdictions, although this is becoming less common. SER cable is typically constructed with 2 or 3 insulated conductors and a beryl green insulated grounding conductor. The conductors are usually made of copper or aluminum. The cable is covered with a flame-retardant, moisture-resistant jacket. The cable jacket is typically gray in color, but it can also be black or other colors. The specific type of SER cable, such as SEU or SER, indicates its construction and suitability for different applications. SEU cable has a concentric neutral, while SER cable has individual insulated conductors. The NEC specifies the types of cables that can be used for service entrances in Article 338. Generally, SE or use cable is permitted for direct burial applications, while SER cable is intended for above-ground use. The codebook states that only SE or use cable may be used as service entrance cable. While SER cable is suitable for many applications, there are restrictions on its use. Firstly, SER cable should not be used for direct burial applications unless it is specifically listed for that purpose. Direct burial cable, such as use, is designed to withstand the harsh underground environment. Secondly, SER cable should not be used in wet locations unless it is specifically listed for wet locations. Wet locations include areas that are subject to moisture, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and laundry rooms. Thirdly, SER cable should not be used in hazardous locations, such as areas where flammable materials are stored or used. Hazardous locations require special types of cables and wiring methods to prevent explosions and fires. Fourthly, SER cable is generally not permitted for use in commercial garages or theaters due to the higher risk of damage and fire. Fifthly, it is not permitted for use in locations where it is subject to physical damage unless properly protected by conduit or other approved means. When installing SER cable, it is important to follow the NEC guidelines and local codes. Proper installation techniques include, firstly, using the correct size cable for the intended load. Secondly, ensuring that the cable is properly supported and secured. Thirdly, protecting the cable from physical damage. Fourthly, making sure that all connections are tight and secure. Fifthly, grounding the cable properly to prevent electrical shock hazards. The size of the SER cable is determined by the ampacity of the circuit it is serving. The ampacity is the amount of current that the cable can safely carry. The NEC provides tables that list the ampacity of different sizes of SER cable. The cable must be supported and secured at intervals specified in the NEC. This prevents the cable from sagging or being damaged. The cable must also be protected from physical damage. This can be done by running the cable through conduit or by using a cable tray. All connections must be tight and secure. Loose connections can cause overheating and fires. The cable must be grounded properly to prevent electrical shock hazards. This is done by connecting the grounding conductor to a grounding electrode. SER cable must be installed in accordance with the NEC and local codes. Improper installation can result in electrical shock, fire, and other hazards. It is important to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the cable is installed properly. The NEC is a comprehensive set of standards for electrical installations. It is updated every 3 years. The NEC is adopted by most states and local jurisdictions. Local codes may vary from the NEC. It is important to check with your local authority having jurisdiction to determine the applicable codes. Article 338 of the NEC covers the requirements for service entrance cable. This article includes information on the types of cables that can be used, the ampacity of the cables, and the installation requirements. Table 310.15. B16 provides ampacity ratings for various conductor sizes and insulation types. It's crucial to select the appropriate size cable based on the load requirements in the specific ampacity table. When running SER cable through walls or floors, it must be protected from physical damage. This can be done by using a metal or non-metallic conduit. The conduit must be securely fastened to the wall or floor. When SER cable is used for service entrance applications, it must be installed with a drip loop. A drip loop is a loop in the cable that is installed below the service head. The drip loop prevents water from entering the service equipment. The service head is the point where the service entrance cable connects to the utility company's service drop. When SER cable is installed outdoors, it must be protected from the weather. This can be done by using a weatherproof enclosure. The enclosure must be designed to protect the cable from rain, snow, and ice. The enclosure must also be designed to prevent animals from entering the enclosure. When SER cable is installed in a crawl space, it must be protected from physical damage. This can be done by running the cable through conduit or by using a cable tray. The cable must also be supported and secured at intervals specified in the NEC. When SER cable is installed in an attic, it must be protected from physical damage. This can be done by running the cable through conduit or by using a cable tray. The cable must also be supported and secured at intervals specified in the NEC. When SER cable is installed in a garage, it must be protected from physical damage. This can be done by running the cable through conduit or by using a cable tray. The cable must also be supported and secured at intervals specified in the NEC. SER cable is available in a variety of sizes. The size of the cable is determined by the ampacity of the circuit it is serving. The NEC provides tables that list the ampacity of different sizes of SER cable. SER cable is available in both copper and aluminum conductors. Copper conductors are more expensive than aluminum conductors, but they have a higher ampacity. Aluminum conductors are less expensive than copper conductors, but they have a lower ampacity. SER cable is available with a variety of insulation types. The insulation type is determined by the application for which the cable is being used. Some common insulation types include THHN, THWN, and XHHW. THHN insulation is rated for 90 degrees Celsius in dry locations. THWN insulation is rated for 75 degrees Celsius in wet locations. XHHW insulation is rated for 90 degrees Celsius in dry and wet locations. The cost of SER cable varies depending on the size, conductor material, and insulation type. Copper SER cable is typically more expensive than aluminum SER cable. SER cable with a higher insulation rating is typically more expensive than SER cable with a lower insulation rating. Always consult the NEC and local codes for specific requirements regarding the use of SER cable in your area. Understanding the permitted and prohibited uses of SER cable is crucial for ensuring safe and code-compliant electrical installation. While SER cable is commonly used for service entrances, it's essential to differentiate it from SC&use cables, which are specifically listed for direct burial applications. The NEC clearly outlines the types of cables suitable for service entrances in Article 338, emphasizing the importance of using SC&use cable for underground installations. SER cable is generally intended for above-ground use and should not be directly buried unless explicitly listed for that purpose. In wet locations, SER cable must also be specifically listed for wet locations to prevent moisture damage and electrical hazards. Similarly, SER cable is not permitted in hazardous locations where flammable materials are present, as these areas require specialized cables and wiring methods to mitigate the risk of explosions and fires. The NEC also restricts the use of SCR cable in commercial garages and theatres due to the increased potential for damage and fire. It's essential to protect SCR cable from physical damage by using conduit or other approved means, especially in areas where it's susceptible to impact or abrasion. When installing SCR cable, follow the NEC guidelines and local codes meticulously. Use the correct cable size for the intended load, ensuring that it meets the ampacity requirements for the circuit. Properly support and secure the cable at intervals specified in the NEC to prevent sagging and damage. Make sure all connections are tight and secure to avoid overheating and potential fire hazards. Ground the cable properly to minimize the risk of electrical shock. The ampacity of SCR cable is determined by the size of the conductors and the insulation type. The NEC provides tables, such as Table 310.15 B16, that lists the ampacity ratings for various conductor sizes and insulation types. Always refer to these tables to select the appropriate cable size for your application. When running SCR cable through walls or floors, protect it from physical damage by using conduit or other approved methods. Securely fasten the conduit to the wall or floor to prevent movement and ensure proper protection. When SCR cable is used for service entrance applications, install a drip loop below the service head to prevent water from entering the service equipment. The service head is the point where the service entrance cable connects to the utility company's service drop. When installing SCR cable outdoors, use a weatherproof enclosure to protect it from the elements. The enclosure should be designed to withstand rain, snow, and ice, and it should also prevent animals from entering the enclosure. When installing SCR cable in a crawl space or attic, protect it from physical damage by running it through conduit or using a cable tray. Support and secure the cable at intervals specified in the NEC to prevent sagging and damage. In garages, protect SCR cable from physical damage by running it through conduit or using a cable tray. The cable should also be supported and secured at intervals specified in the NEC. SCR cable is available in both copper and aluminum conductors. Copper conductors have a higher ampacity than aluminum conductors, but they are also more expensive. Aluminum conductors are less expensive than copper conductors, but they have a lower ampacity. SCR cable is available with a variety of insulation types, including THHN, THWN, and XHHW. THHN insulation is rated for 90 degrees Celsius in dry locations, while THWN insulation is rated for 75 degrees Celsius in wet locations. XHHW insulation is rated for 90 degrees Celsius in both dry and wet locations. The cost of SCR cable varies depending on the size, conductor material, and insulation type. Copper SCR cable is typically more expensive than aluminum SCR cable. SCR cable with a higher insulation rating is typically more expensive than SCR cable with a lower insulation rating. Always consult the NEC and local codes for specific requirements regarding the use of SCR cable in your area. Understanding the permitted and prohibited uses of SCR cable is crucial for ensuring safe and code-compliant electrical installations.